$70 million in a single week. Absolutely sickening, guys. 70 mil. Like, do you know what 70 mil buys? I can't believe James, this guy, how is he gambling 70 mil? He put on here saying 0.1 billion is not even a lot of money. Don't gas, don't front, mate. Do not front. To the enslaved mind, chained with with limitations, yes, but to a free mind where absolutely anything and everything is available to him, and hard work, belief, and conviction, it means nothing. I refuse to believe that you lost this and it means nothing. Now, obviously, not kicking him when he's down, but just trying to make people aware. You have all of this in your hand, and you just go and gamble it on what? How much? What are you trying to achieve? Because no one needs more than this. You never have to work again. You have your own private island. You have your own private jet. You have your own beachfront holiday home. You have every supercar you could ever want. Like, greed is a really sad thing, man. It's a sickening thing, greed, because at what level are you happy? And also, think about the things you could have done with the money. Maybe you don't care about possessions. That's actually lovely. Maybe you could have gone back to your council estate that you grew up on. Imagine the lives you could have changed. Thousands of people out there who want to start a business or change their lives. Like, that to me would be, you know, I'm a little bit greedy. I would definitely have some supercars and a house, but 100 mil, there's no way I'd be able to spend 100 mil. I'd look after myself, don't get me wrong, but then, you know, the thought of helping others, I think, brings more fulfillment than money ever will, right? That's why you look at a lot of people who become billionaires and super, super rich millionaires. What do? A lot of them go into helping people in poorer countries, third world countries. They work on water installations and try and provide clean water, because there's no better fulfillment than that. So, you know, it's all good to be on socials like, fancy the gamble, mate. It's a serious amount of money, and you know, even not for yourself, it could have helped a lot of people. So, you know, look, I don't want anyone to lose. I never want anyone to lose. And one thing we can do from this is a massive lesson about leverage trading, right? And who knows, maybe like some of us or some of you watching this video might be in that position where you're able to take, you know, $10 million on leverage or whatever. And we want to learn from this. And I'm going to talk about some of the things I do when I'm leverage trading. And I'm not the best leverage trader, guys, and I don't claim to be the best leverage trader either. I'm actually a bit of a degen. I love to leverage trade meme coins, which is a terrible strategy. So I like to have a little, you know, a risk trade here and there, absolutely. But I do have certain skills that prevent me from being in certain rules, that prevent me from being in this situation. And James has just been going a bit mad recently. I mean, he should have stepped away and stopped trading, but it's like a game of cat and mouse. Let BTC run already, corrupt. He started calling the system corrupt and saying that it's all a scam. And I mean, BTC's been going up straight for like 600%. So, you know, at any point you could have pretty much held a long open. I don't know why you would long at the top of 600% and then call it a scam. I mean, when Trump won, man, imagine putting that trade on when Trump won. You pretty much would have been clear. You wouldn't have been able to lose because there were so many inflows after Trump won. So after we've had all of the good news, the ETF, BlackRock, Trump, it doesn't make sense to me to go and put on such a big trade. But I don't think he's an experienced trader. I don't think he's skilled. And it sounds like he hit some jackpots with some meme coins. And unfortunately, he just got a bit carried away. And he won't make this mistake again. He might make this mistake this cycle. He'll probably bleed himself absolutely dry trying to get back. Because when you're at 100 million and you come back down to 1 or 2 million, it's just not the same. And you're constantly trying to chase that 10 million, that 20 million. And to get there, you have to take more leverage and you have to put on more money. It's a very slippery slope. And you know, to learn how to cope with that and how to step away from the table, right? To walk away from the casino table. It takes years of skill and discipline. And I don't think he's quite at that stage. He'll probably go through all of his gains that he's made and just chasing leverage trades. He started to put on more trades, much smaller. I say smaller. He's trading with margin 1.1 million on cross as well. trading with 1.6 million on meme coins. 1.6 million on meme coins. You know how easy it is for them to liquidate you when you're trading with that much money? They can liquidate you at the drop of a dime whenever they want. And you know, you're putting a lot of money on the line here on crazy leverage, 40x leverage, 10x leverage on a meme coin with that kind of money, right? So, you know, it's hard to watch for me. It's really hard to watch for me because he could have turned that $100 million into $1 billion in 4 years. And $1 billion is so much money. It's so much more than 100 million, right? It's an incredible amount of money. And you can really not just change your life, you could even change certain countries, right, with that kind of money. You can change the infrastructure and stuff. You really can have an insane legacy once you enter the $1 billion club. And he could have flipped that to 10x relatively easily, just waiting for the 4-year cycle, waiting for the bear market, and then running it into the bull run. So it's incredibly frustrating to watch someone with so much money, and you just know they're going to drop it all down the drain. So after he lost his 70 million, he started to shill Moonpig, started to shill some of these meme coins. He has a lot of attention on him. His account's really exploded, and you know, it's sad to see that he said, I'm going to make it all back on one trade in Moonpig. And you know, there's only so many times that this can run whilst we're in this kind of market, and it's really a sign of the times, isn't it? He just lost 70 mil and then he's trying to jump into meme coins. It's a sign of the times in this market, man. It's becoming so degenerate. People are getting bored, people are getting max greedy. Bitcoin's been rallying up all cycle, and altcoins really started to crash March 24. We still haven't seen them recover, and I would speculate that was potentially the top of the altcoin bull run. Things were up 25x, 30x, 40x, 50x. Things were going parabolic. Everyone made a considerable amount of money, but as usual, no one wanted to take profits, right? No one wants to take profits when things are pumping. They sit and they hold and they hope and they hodl and they hodl, and then before they know it, their bags are down 60, 70%. You really have to go through a cycle of pain. Like, you have to feel so much pain and so much. You have to be like, seriously, to the point where you're like, I'm changing my whole strategy. I'm not doing this again. And every relief rally, you'll start to take profits off the table. And this space is getting very, very degenerate. Liquidity's been squeezed. There's like 1,000 meme coins launching every week. It's oversaturated. And I don't even want to get into the on-chain data because, you know, I've done that with you guys recently on one of my past videos, and it's wild, a lot of the data. Oh, yeah, by the way, guys, I launched my beginner to pro course. So you can see here, after 5 years deep in the game, working at regulated exchanges, building strategy decks for IOHK, lots of other companies as well, ITV, I've done a Web3 strategy for them, providing market analysis for Luke Belmar's Inner Circle. So as you guys know, I'm a gem caller in Luke Belmar's circle. I also do live streams of market updates and analysis in there as well. I've basically put all of my tips and tricks into one simple video. Let me just play this for you so you can see. One simple course. And it's the beginner to pro course. Here you go. How did I go from making $900 a month to $31,000 a month on Patreon? Guys, this is public. You can go and check it out for yourself. Simply by tracking the smart money and insiders on chain. Pantera Capital, profits $82 million. Cosmocal, profits $51 million. Shatter, $31 million. Using highly advanced software, I'm able to track these insiders, the smart money, the whales, the funds. Every time they buy and sell, I get notified inside my Discord along with my community when they buy Ethereum, when they sell Ethereum. I then use that data to make calculated trades. I don't claim to be smart myself, guys. I simply buy when they buy and I sell when they sell. As you can see on my copy trade account here, just following this simple strategy of copying the smart money, which is one of the main reasons my Patreon has absolutely exploded over the last 12 months. I'm proud to announce that I'm launching my first cryptocurrency course, beginner to pro, so you can learn how to track these transactions, how to trade the crypto market, so you're ready for the next cycle. So if you'd also like to start tracking the smart money on chain, click the link below to start the course. How did I go? So guys, you can head over to my X if you want to jump in the course. There is a link at the bottom of that post on my X. Here's my X, guys. You can see the name here. So yeah, real crazy, man. 70, 100 million. I hope he doesn't lose all his money. I hope he can get back up. And I hope there is some traders who are working with him or speaking to him about just stepping down and just having, just chilling out for a bit. Because the Bitcoin, you can call it a scam, you can call it a rug, but Bitcoin still follows TradFi. If TradFi collapses, Bitcoin is going to collapse. If TradFi rallies, Bitcoin is going to rally majority of the time, right? We talked about this. We sold a lot of our portfolio up here. We said as soon as we break this blue line, it's going to be very similar to the previous cycle. What happened last cycle? We broke the blue line. We started to get some sales, and then we had this massive move to the downside. And we just had the same thing happen, right? Massive move to the downside. We bought here. We took some longs down here. I wish I had the 100 million to long Solana down here, because I pretty much long the bottom of Solana. When the S&P bottomed, Solana bottomed, Bitcoin bottomed, right? So this is how I kind of trade Bitcoin and crypto. So I follow the S&P. Now I'm actually expecting the S&P to trickle down and maybe find a higher low, or maybe we come down and test some new lows. And that is obviously going to bring the whole of crypto and Bitcoin down. So what do? I short Bitcoin when it looks like it's about to reverse, and I long Bitcoin when the S&P looks like it's about to bottom. Of course, I'm going into Bitcoin. I'm going into the cryptos and trying to see if they're finding supports as well. But that's kind of how I trade it, and I don't try to take too many big trades. Up here, I took some very big shorts. Down here, I took some very big longs. I haven't gone into some crazy shorts. I did short Bitcoin at 105k. I'm in a few smaller shorts. I'm in a hype short as well. Hyperliquid is just the market cap exploded. But I didn't take my big shorts. I was kind of waiting for a little bit of a resistance level, like maybe this resistance level here, before entering my big shorts. But I am in some shorts at the moment. I'll do another video on Bitcoin and the market, because there is a small chance that we have actually topped in the Bitcoin market. So I'll do another video on that, guys. What can I teach you about strategy? So this is what I do. I buy in the bear market. Okay, so let's go and have a look, for example, in Solana, SOL, USDT, Solana. Let's go and have a look at the weekly time frame. So very simple. A simple strategy. I want to buy in the bear market when everything's down 90-95%, and then I want to sell in the bull run, in the pumps to the upside. Okay, so we bought down here and I took profits here, right? So let's say I put in, where was the price? It went up to like $200. So let's say I put in $10,000, or sorry, let's make it simple. Let's say $1,000. I put in $1,000 at $20, and the price is now 200, right? A few weeks later, or a few months later. Fantastic. I've done a 10x. I've made a 10x on my money. That $1,000 is now worth $10,000. Okay, so what I do is I've just turned my 1K to 10K, and I've done it on my safe play, right? On my low risk Solana play. And now what I do is I take a small percentage of this, sometimes 20%. So I take 2K out of that 10K. So I leave the 8K in Solana. So now I have this profit here that's completely free money that I can't lose. If I go and leverage trade with this now, and let's say I still think Solana's going to go up. So let's go. I think Solana's going to go up. I want to add some leverage. I'm going to take, I'm going to take a $500 long position on Solana. I'm going to use not crazy leverage. Maybe I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to use like 7x leverage or 4x leverage. And I'm going to try and turn this $500 into $5,000 or $3,000, right? So that's what I kind of do with leverage trading. I take profits from my wins in the spot market, and then I put it into leverage trading. And the rule I have with leverage trading is, so let's say this cycle, for example, let's say I turned 100K into $1 million, okay? I take 20% of this to leverage trade with. So I now have 200,000 to trade with. That's completely free money. I can't lose. And bear in mind, I'm taking 20% profits into leverage trading. And it's, if I don't, maybe the market crashes, right? And I've still got this 200K that I took profits. So I like to take profits anyway, but I reassign it to the trades because I think we're going up. Bitcoin was, when I started to really heavily trade Bitcoin, it was at 60K, I think, and I didn't really want to hold spot Bitcoin. It didn't make too much sense to me trying to make a 2x on Bitcoin over the course of whatever time. And I wanted to take it with some leverage, and I wanted to try and make a 10x or a 20x or whatever. And yeah, so I've got 200 to trade with, so I'll split this into many trades. The smartest thing to do would be to turn it into 2k trades. So that means I could put on 100 trades of 2k, and I would have to lose a considerable amount to ever get wrecked, right? So I could lose, win big, and still be okay, right? It gives me a massive buffer to keep placing trades until I hit a big win. As you saw with Mudeng recently, right? I've done a 71x, which would have been, with 2k, $140,000. Just from one trade, right? And this is 100 lives. This gives me 100 lives, taking that 200k out. So what do I do with this if I start to lose? If I go on a bad streak, so I've got my 200k and I'm on a really bad streak, I'm bullish and the market's going down, then I get bearish and the market's going up, I keep losing, I lost 2k Sunday, I lost 2k Monday, I lost 2k Tuesday, I lost 4k Wednesday. So do you see, even though I've had a really bad week, I've only lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lives, okay? So I've still got 95 lives to trade with. And it's still only 20% of my portfolio because I took 20% from my gains in the bull run, and it's all free money anyway because I only started with 10k, and I now have I only started with 100k, and I've got 200k just to play with on my trades. So this 20% rule, what I do is if I lose this 20%, if I lose, let's say, 100 trades in a row, which I've never done, but let's say I lose 100 trades in a row, I don't hit any wins, because you'd have to not hit any wins to also run out, then I've lost 20%, I'm out of the game. I stop trading until the following cycle, and when the following cycle comes, I reserve all of the rest of my money for the bear market, because I know this is where it's relatively straightforward to make gains, right? You buy when everything's crashed and everything's down. We've got a lot of indicators that help us in a bear market identify the bottom, whereas at the top you don't have as many indicators, and it really does catch many people off. Most people don't sell near the top, and they actually hold and hope for higher prices, and it really crashes very fast, and everyone realizes, oh, I messed up, I should have took profits, and then they're stuck waiting for the next cycle. The bottom is a lot different. Look how long it goes sideways at the bottom, just hovering week after week after week. You actually have so long to accumulate, and it's very hard to miss the bottom. You can buy in too soon, so a lot of people think, oh, Solana was 300, I'm definitely going to buy at 160, or I'm definitely going to buy at 129, I'm definitely going to buy at 88. This price is crazy cheap, but they actually don't realize that eventually the price is going to just go sideways, and that's when the bear market lands. So a lot of people will end up buying in too early. But it's relatively easy. There's like 10 indicators that pretty much nail the bottom of the bear market each cycle. So that's where I plan to buy again. Let's say I lost all my money leverage trading and all my spare cash leverage trading, my 20% that I'd allocated. I would wait until I'd made a lot of money back in the bull run, and then bang, I take some profits out again, I take 20% out, and we play the leverage trading game again. And if I lose it, I've lost only free money, not my own money, and I've still got 80% left in the game. That's how I treat it, because it's a very dangerous game, guys, and it will suck you in. And you see what James done. He got liquidated, and then he started adding to his position, which is insane, because he was down like 56 million and just kept adding to his position. And, he could have been left with 30, 40 million if he had left a stop loss, or, he should have set a stop loss at even 10 million. It's insane. Having a 10 million stop loss is insane. And, to let that keep running is wild. Look, it's his money. It's completely free to do what he likes with it. But I just think deep down, none of us would like to lose, so much money. But these strategies are in place for us to make sure that doesn't happen to us. So yeah, that's kind of how I would play it and how I would trade. And I tend to try and take trades at points of strength. I don't like taking too many trades. Like I took some longs on Solana on the way up. I took some shorts at around 250. The price really capitulated down to like $100. Then I took a long around $102. Just points of strength. This was actually technically a point of strength. I did mention a couple of times 180, 185 I'd be interested in shorting, but I never executed on that because the market was moving mad. There was deals with China, and Trump was pumping markets, but it's looking very similar, guys. It looks like we're right here right now. I hope we're not. I really hope we're not. But if we are right here, we're literally in for week after week after week after week of downside, which we may be headed to in this current market, right, with what's going on with tariffs and China. So trade carefully, guys. You look how fast we were at 140 last cycle. Well, look how fast we were at $27, right? Most of your bag would be gone. If you have 100k bag, it's going to be a 20k bag in a few weeks if we are where we are last cycle, right? Well, it could be a 20k bag. So you imagine that if you've got $1 million, you could lose $800,000 in Solana in a few weeks. So yeah, I mean, I would have trailing stop losses. I would set stop losses. You don't want to be losing this low down here, or it's lights out. If Solana loses $100, it's lights out. It's the end of the cycle. Really is starting to look like we're actually going to come down and test these lows, to be honest. That's it for now. What do you think about this James Wynn situation? A lot of people have been saying he's ballsy, and this is legendary. I mean, look, he's built the smartest thing about it is he has built a platform now. He'll never go broke because he's got 278,000 followers. He'll never go broke. So it's been a smart marketing tactic. It would have been a much better marketing tactic if he had followed some risk strategies and some risk management, because he could have turned it into $1 billion, and that would have been a massive, massive story. Millions of followers, maybe even on news channels, right? Some guy who turned a few 100k into $1 billion trading Bitcoin and meme coins. Very hard to do in this market. Very hard to do, because if you've got 100 million sitting there waiting to be liquidated, market makers are going to take it. Market makers are going to come for you. And even if it's not manipulated, sometimes Bitcoin just pulls back 10%. Sometimes it pulls back 5%. Sometimes Bitcoin crashes by 40%. Some people are new this cycle. They're quite lucky that they haven't witnessed those 40% pullbacks that we had last cycle. It was quite common, and it was really, really brutal. So I did post this in my Discord around the 2nd of May. We've actually been talking about this level for a very long time, but we were looking to try and short this top of the market. And I did say two things are likely to happen here, because a lot of people started to look at this level. I said we either go over this level, we break above, which I'd be very surprised because it's been very consistent time and time again, or this level gets front run and it actually dumps before, and we were very, very close to that level. We didn't quite touch it, but we were so close, and it looks to me like it got front run. I'm going to do a video on it, but it looks to me like it's been front run, which means that maybe a lot of people had limit shorts at this level, and the exchanges, if they push it up to those limit shorts, they have to then run it up even higher, and it's going to take so much money and liquidity to run it up that high. People are going to start to dump and take profits. It's going to be so hard. And then they have to flush out all of that liquidity that they've just purchased as well, right? So they have to get rid of it. It's a big risk to run it up. And maybe we've topped. I mean, it's quite possible, right? Look how many people were bullish at 110k. So many people. I think that I saw some polls and they were like 70 or 80%, I think, were like, yeah, I expect more upside. And we've got people taking $100 million longs, or $1 billion, because it was on leverage, right? I think it was $1 billion long. Usually the majority are wrong, especially when you start pushing up to these all-time highs. And I'm looking for a correction, guys. I'm looking for a correction. We've done some really advanced checks into where we think the floor is going to be. And the longer Bitcoin stays up, the higher the floor is going to be, okay? So if we do want to discount this cycle, which the banks definitely do, right? The banks want a massive discount because the banks have just had to sit and watch retail, and the companies all have fun in Bitcoin whilst they were legally forced to sit out of the market. last thing the banks want to do is come and pump everyone's bags. That's not how a bank moves, right? They're not going to sit there and go, oh yeah, sure, we're going to come in and put $1 trillion into your back pocket, and we're going to get in at 100k when you lot were able to get in at 10k and 5k. They don't like that. They'll want to see a black swan event. They'll want to see a complete capitulation. They'll want to see Michael Saylor get liquidated. They'll want to see absolute carnage in the market, in the Bitcoin market, because that's when opportunities of a lifetime are created, right? And the banks would be able to go in heavily. I'd be very surprised if they do start to go in heavily right now. And banks love data, right? They're not looking at what Trump is saying. They'll be looking at the on-chain data, and the on-chain data says statistically we're pretty much at the end of the market, and they'll be waiting for when a floor comes. It's going to be very hard to buy this floor if we don't get any black swan events. We need a black swan event really to get a discount and to get a nice pullback, but without that, if we keep getting positivity all the way into the bear, and we keep getting good news, and we get ETFs and strategic reserves and countries adopting, the floor is going to be so high. It's going to be really, really high, and that's fine with me. I'm prepared to buy it. It's just a shame that we were not getting so much of a discount. I think stocks is very different to Bitcoin at the moment. There's a lot of the whole world has its eyes on Bitcoin, whereas stocks, they crashed by 60-70% last cycle. So I still think we're going to see 60, 70, 80% crashes on stocks, which is brilliant because stocks are actually moving very explosive as well. Let's check Meta, for example. Look at this. Look how explosive the bull run has been and how massive the last bear market was. So bear market crash, 76% into massive, massive bull run. And things don't just go up in a straight line. Look, we've actually started to get the sell on Meta as well. Everything's lining up. Look, bull market buy signal, fantastic. I mean, look, if you bought the dip down here, brilliant. But this bull market buy kind of tells you, it says, hey, mate, you're flipping out of this red. See how the red flipped to green. So it looks like you're going into a bull run. Makes it easy for us when we are trying to accumulate in the bear market. Rally, 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 all the way up the trend line. Trend is your friend. You don't have to, I said to everybody on Solana, don't really have to panic until we start to get a sell signal. And it's nice because you just keep holding until you get the sell, right? And then you get the sell and you're like, great, I bought down here. I'm selling up here. I'm taking some profits. Can it go higher? I'm sure it can. But, you know, I'm not going to be greedy. It just makes it easy for us. And because this happened last cycle, it's likely going to happen this cycle again. So, you know, if we saw a 70% correction, given we might even be going into a recession, bring Facebook down to around $200 range. Yeah, $200 range. Nice psychological number there as well. And then I'd be looking to buy, right? Buy dumps, long pumps, wait for the bear market, wait for the buy signal. We'll go like this. We'll get the SMC bot will roll over like this. And then eventually the SMC bot will roll around and we'll get a buy signal as soon as we cross over that. And like what happened this cycle, we'll probably run up the SMC bot and then trend is your friend until the end. Don't need to sell until we get the sell signal. Happy days, Bob Shinan's sister. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm a long-term swing trader and I'm waiting for that swing right now, and we don't see it. We don't see it. We might be a bit buggered on BTC. I do hope we have a black swan event. I hope something happens that brings it down to some really nice levels so that we can all get in, because once the banks are in, it's a whole other cycle, guys. It really is going to be, you know, unpredictable how high next cycle will go, because you're talking about trillions of dollars that potentially is about to flow into a market cap that is $2 trillion. Add that with companies, institutions. The banks are going to be selling it to retail inside the banks. You're going to go into your bank and they're going to have Bitcoin leaflets and they're going to say, have you seen this asset that's been going up for 15 years straight? Nobody's lost any money. It's going to be the easiest pitch of your lifetime. The boomers are going to see Michael Saylor and BlackRock are talking about Bitcoin. Donald Trump's talking about Bitcoin. The UK will eventually have to adopt Bitcoin. Europe will have to adopt Bitcoin. And it will just be this massive network effect. And, you know, this is why I think it's going to go to $1 million. And I just want to get this next crash. I really want to try and nail a decent price because I bought in a little bit too early last cycle, and it's better to be too early than late. But I've got so many more tools now that are going to help me try and identify this bottom, and this is my big chance to get to 10 million, and I really think I can do it. And it's going to take max patience and discipline, but if I can finesse this buy on Bitcoin and altcoins, I'm going to build a portfolio. And yeah, I'm still buying altcoins. They're not going to be as degenerate as they were this cycle, even though we made decent gains on most of our altcoins. I just think it's going to be a very different cycle for altcoins. I think it's going to be very hard, and I think there's only a select few of altcoins that are going to perform this cycle. Just like we avoided crypto gaming this cycle, right? What did I say? I'm avoiding privacy and I'm avoiding crypto gaming, and both of those sectors underperformed massively. And gaming, I don't think I would have even made any money this cycle if I went into gaming. I think most of those things are actually down from last bear market. So yeah, be very careful when building your portfolios going into the next bear market, because it's going to take a lot of thought on where the market's going, what the trends are, what's going to come back, what's not going to come back, what was a fad, what was a bubble. Just like NFTs, we see these bubbles come and go. Is AI going to be a bubble? That's a question you're going to have to ask yourself in crypto. And RWAs, going to have to do some research into RWAs. Is that a bubble? Is there any plays in RWAs? RWAs comes with its own set of issues that I think many RWA projects are either not going to make it or going to struggle, which I guess I can do some deep dives into in the bear market. But yeah, a lot of thought this bear market. We can't deny it's a different cycle now. Things are changing. And Bitcoin is at 100k. In my opinion, Bitcoin is a 10x. So I'll always be interested in a 10x. And if it comes to 50k, it's a 20x to a million. And I have max conviction in it going to a million. It's a 20x, man. It's $1 million to $20 million. It's 10 million to 200 million dollars. It's serious money if it comes down to 50k. It's such a big difference, right? If it comes down to 50k, it's a 20x, and if it stays around 100k, it's a 10x. It's such a big difference, just a small pullback. So let's say I put 10 million in at 100k, and I make a 10x, and I now have 100 million. But instead, I wait for 50k and I buy at 50k. That's $100 million difference. Just that 50% pullback gets me an extra $100 million, right? And we know what $100 million buys. Where's that tweet gone? I think I've got rid of it. We know what $100 million buys, because I was trolling James. Sorry for trolling you, James, mate. I couldn't resist. But you were kind of being a bit facetious about how much money 100 million is. I can't find it. Guys, if you want to join us, if you want to get involved with all our buy and sell alerts, if you want this SMC bot as well, with all these buy and sell signals, if you want to get this yourself, you just click on, you can use the free trading view, so you don't need a paid trading view. Just click on an altcoin you want to go on, click on the daily. Oh, we've got a sell signal on Sui. Look, this has been phenomenal on Sui, so I wonder if we're about to get a dump on Sui. You just click on the altcoin you want to look at, and it gives you buy and sell signals. We've been trading this for ages now. We actually took this buy signal down here at 0.85. We took this sell signal. So we made a killing on the way up. We made a killing on the way down. We took this buy signal. We made a killing on the way up. And I'm actually glad I took profits, because look, I could have been greedy and just been like, I think we're going to go like this. But it actually looks like we're starting to roll over already, right? We've started to get a sell. So I think I took profits around here, and price is already back around here. So if I had have held and hoped, it still would have come back to the same price that I closed out and took profits. I think it was around $30,000 I made. So yeah, if you want to get that SMC bot, join the Patreon. Comes free with the Patreon, and you can use it. It works on stocks and crypto, as you saw. Look at the meta alert as well that we just done. And if you, don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of these videos, and press the bell notification button at the bottom so every time I do a video it flags up, because if we do start going into bear, you're going to see me talking about altcoins that I'm planning to short. I wish I'd have entered that short on Solana at 185. You're going to see me talk about altcoins that I'm planning to short and targets and where I think they can come down to. Damn, man. Say has been so feeble. Say, I actually like Say, but just every time we try to get some momentum to the upside, it just gets rugged. What a sell signal from the SMC bot up here at 56 cents. And then it's just been down only. So what I like about this bot, it tells you, look, something's changing. We might be going into an uptrend. And then it says, actually, no, cancel that. Don't hodl here for dear life. Things are actually starting to look a bit bearish, mate. So yeah, it helps us snap out of that euphoria, helps us snap out of that greed. Look at the state of this altcoin market, man. Nice buy signal on Stacks and then straight into a sell. Where was the sell signal? Look at the sell signal on Stacks, mate. So if you took a short there at $2.20, it came all the way down to 48 cents. Like, you would have printed, absolutely printed. Pepe, straight back down to the SMC support on Pepe, but it did break through. Look at that savage sell-off on Pepe. Nice buy signal again, and nice sell signal. Sell signal kicked in at all the way up here, and then just melted. And then nice buy signal down here, pumped to the upside. It's trying to close below and get a sell signal. Render, pathetic, absolutely pathetic breakouts we're getting. It feels like exhaustion, right? It feels like everybody wants the rally to move, and everyone wants us to have this this big bull run, this last shakeout, this last rally where everyone sells together and everyone's rich. It doesn't normally end like that, guys. It normally ends in fatigue, market fatigue, and it almost feels like that right now on a lot of the altcoins. I just don't know where the retail is going to come from, but we'll see. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I will catch you in the next one.